Hello, this is Dr. Creer. Welcome to Presentation Week 1, Take 1 on the sociological perspective. What I'd like to do is talk for about 5 minutes about sociology's prime assumptions. We won't get to all of these points in detail, but I'll highlight what we did in class. So you're responsible for it, so at least you'll know. So the first lecture point here will be about the reality of social forces, social realism, what your textbook calls social determinism. We'll then talk about historical development as a real force in human history and something that sociologists are very interested in studying. We'll then talk about the uniqueness of modern society, and in class I focused upon the unprecedented situations that arise in modern society that prevent the reproduction of traditional ways of life. We're not going to emphasize that today, but we'll do it in another mini lecture. And then finally, we'll talk about how sociologists are theorists of the shift to modernity, a field that arose about 100 years ago as the shift began. Okay, social realism is the philosophical starting point of the social sciences and of sociology in particular. Sociologists argue that social forces are real, that individuals are particles of human society, and that societies, not individuals, form the basic building blocks of human life. Social determinism, as your text talks about it, is a clear extreme form of social realism that denies all individual autonomy and self-determination, and it's usually contrasted to something called human agency, a philosophy that argues that humans have complete individual autonomy and self-determination, and it denies the power of social structure to determine individuals' fate. Sociologists always, in the last instant, are on the side of social determinism rather than human agency. So societies then to sociologists are not built up of individuals, but of other bigger social objects, cultures, groups, friendship networks, and the like. This image captures the tragic quality of individuality in modernity. Modernity creates the conditions that allow individuality to emerge, but it also creates conditions that make it very difficult for individuals to be individual. The dense crowding of urban life creates anonymity and conformity, making it difficult for people to realize a kind of powerful individualism. In class we talked about individualism as an avatar of modern people, this kind of user's illusion. Think of a video game that people in modern life have to imagine that they are operating as individuals. It's difficult to function in modern life if we don't, but sociologists don't accept that assumption. Historical progression. Sociology focuses upon the long throw of human social history. We study the rise of modernity, a process that took about 1,000 years, accelerating dramatically in the last 150 years. German social science, German social philosophy had a very historical quality in the early 19th century, and it's really the Germans that bring the historical focus into sociology. The basic assumption then is that history determines the moment in which humans live, but that history is made by the action and interaction of human society. So history is determining of human social life, but humans themselves have determined what history is. This is illustrated in this brief film by the illustrator Saul Bass called Why Man Creates. It's going to take about 3 minutes, then I'll join you afterwards.